up here and before 2, and we got a bunch of stuff to wrap before that. It's just 5-10 minutes, especially the people outside this project. What could we have done better? How did the technology work with the piece? Let me first ask the actors.
There was the Connect that was supposed to adjust film and sound. It didn't.
We gave up on this one. Something, Jose and I saw this, something was happening on this one here. It was actually playing. So actually the fluidity, lining you guys up, making you work with the films. And for my other students, I regret not having queued all this up, but the code demands that we queue manually up with all of the filmic work before we go. So that's a wrinkle we got to work out for the next gig and so forth. Actors, what else about the fluid?
And you had a screen in the front so we can actually see how we calibrate it.
Right. This one was turned to, but this one knocked out. People gravitated toward this. Yeah, that would have been because it was showing behind you. I think it was Zame had walked into the space and it was actually moving while she was moving. So in the future, where's Ryan? We would have to calibrate it so it's very, very much more fluid than what it is, and so forth. For those who didn't know, outside of the class, most of these stories came in through their 50 blogs. So I would every week look at the 50 blogs and decide on who to go, when to go, what's a spicy story, and so forth. What else could we have done with those blogs?
I think we've done everything we could have done with the blogs. We discussed everything.
Discussed everything. And for those outside parents, we wanted to, well, I did, I'm the professor, wanted them to focus on social contradictions. That was the gig. Where are they between a rock and a hard place, living in modern America? And that's where we felt we had an allegiance. I say this endlessly to my students. This is where we felt we had an allegiance to Boccaccio. He wrote in a time of the plague. 1/3 of all of Europe died. A beautiful city like Florence, these bodies were stacked up. And we want to make the connection that we're sort of living in a plague time now. We don't know what's around the corner. And how are these young people dealing with the contradictions we throw to them in this great pyramid scheme called culture, and how just witnessing to this makes their lives, their stories better. Justine?
What if instead of the actors themselves controlling the movies, if they pair up? Because a lot of them seem nervous, especially during rehearsal, like where their hands were and trying to tell the story. But if they pair up and somebody else knows their story and kind of goes with it to run the film and the sound,
oh, that's cool.
We'll still have it in the background going on, and the sound in the films will be changing, but the monologues are just kind of going on.
So it calibrates right away. Again, I want to apologize to the media students for not showing more of your work. You got your gig. This is your gig, even though your work didn't get seen. To make it more fluid, Justine made the point that maybe there's a calibration within the group. That here's the difficult thing, for those who didn't know, you had to make right angles with your hand. The Connect had to see you, and then you're going. So it is difficult, and the zones are not this zone we got going, that zone. We're going to try this again in Soho, Monday evening, 5 p.m., free Prosecco, for the International Furniture and Architectural Fair on this Monday, for whatever select members want to come in here. Actors, any other thing about how could we make this more fluid? I loved all your stories. That was great. You did a really good job. How could we make this more fluid?